Pregame.tv, Big 12 action. We are going to have not one, not two, but 3 free plays on this
One video.
I was going to pull a LeBron on us.
3 for 1, baby. Absolutely. Everybody's like, low five, you know. It's like, and I don't know where to start with this one in terms of, should we start at the top of the conference, the bottom of the conference? I'm going to leave it wide open. VR, any team you want to start out with?
Yeah, for me it's simple, and this is a bet that I actually made last night, and I want to give it out. What I did last week and the week before with Ken, every year I give out NFL future, an AFC representative, NFC representative, and a long shot to win the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, I've had some I look for teams that I could earn from. If they get into the playoffs, I could start hedging, try to make some money. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, the last 5 years, three of the times, I picked the winner before the season started, so it worked out well.
Pretty good. Stop hedging.
Yeah, exactly. But what I do with season win totals, I try to pick the one I like the most in college, one I like the most in NFL, give that to clients and make it kind of like a season total game of the year, call it what you will, the biggest bet.
So you're looking at the top of the conference where we got a little more
exactly.
shop. You looked over the top 5 teams.
And I have an easy winner.
And you got an easy winner you're going to be betting on. Now you're going to go ahead and release that. Shirley, let me ask you, break it down for me, is Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, Texas. Those are really the 3 shortest odds to win this. Who do you think is going to win this conference?
Oklahoma.
You think Oklahoma?
Oklahoma.
Okay.
Bar none.
Why is Oklahoma? We're going to just talk about winning the conference right now. Then we'll go back to your best bet in a little bit. Why is Oklahoma going to win?
I think they are the most ready to win, even though they lost Landry Jones. I think the rest of the team.
Certainly the pedigree. The year after year they win.
Exactly. And I just don't think that Oklahoma State, being 8-5 last year, is ready to make that kind of Kansas State leap that we saw last year and all of a sudden win the conference. And I just aren't sold yet on Texas. I mean, I'm just not. And I think this is Oklahoma's year to really get back to prominence and win that conference easily and make a little bit of noise. And a perfect example of why is what Stoops did. Here's a team that went 10-3 last year. They won 10 games, and for the first time in 13 years, he actually fired 3 assistant coaches. He never fired a single coach before. They won 10 games, and he fired 3 guys. So it tells you this team isn't about winning 10 games. They're not even about winning conference championships. Like you said before we went on, they're about winning national championships, and I think they're poised to make a run.
I'm going to let you make this one official first in a little while, but not yet. We're going to go with you first on this, but let me give you my concerns.
Give it to me.
I'm bullish on Oklahoma as far as winning games because of that embarrassing, ridiculous loss to the Fighting Irish last year at home, where they got pummeled. Brian, you watched that game last year? You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it.
I do.
And it was a classic. I think Oklahoma was laying 8, and they got
annihilated.
They on the scoreboard. They got annihilated. They were in the game the whole way, but they got crushed on the scoreboard. And I mean, Manti Te'o's imaginary girlfriend. Team can't play a lick. Lacey's ripping off 11 yards per carry, and you can't lose at home if you're Oklahoma to this team. And here's the problem, I think, in terms of this game. If it was September 1st that they're playing Oklahoma's playing Notre Dame, then I like it. Because I'm confident Oklahoma's going to go into Notre Dame and they're going to win that game. Maybe we'll make it a 4th best bet. So I like the fact they're going to start out really well. But they have a bye September 21st. September 28th they go to South Bend. They're blowing a bye, and then they have a really, really tough
conference
game before the conference starts. And I think that's going to really help them get over on their season win number, but it's going to hurt them
long term,
conference, especially with 5 road games. But I count the game, the neutral site game, as a road game because they're traveling the Red River rivalry. Since they only have 4 true home games and they got that trip to South Bend, I think they're going to win 10 games, but I don't think they're going to win the conference. Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, I can't endorse this either. I only pick them to win 8.37 games. They've only got 1 gimme win on the road, and that's at Kansas. You go back over Oklahoma over the years, they're very good at home, but they struggle on the road, especially against the spread. They could lose to Notre Dame, TCU, Texas, Baylor, Kansas State, Oklahoma State. All those games, the spread's going to be a touchdown or less. So those are games that can go either way. And
but isn't that what you want as a college team? See, here's where what I like. I look for teams, the Oklahomas, the LSUs, that I keep hearing about how difficult their schedule is, because unlike the NFL, where you want an easy schedule, because the more wins you pile up, the easier it is for you to get in the playoffs, the easier it is for you to get a home playoff game. In college football, the only way you crack the top 10, the only way you crack a BCS bowl game or a BCS championship is to have a schedule like that. You don't want an easy schedule.
I totally disagree.
Why hasn't Boise State played in a national championship?
Because they haven't been ranked in the top 10 before.
Why haven't they been ranked?
This is the deal. If you start the season,
they were in a big conference.
Right. No,
Bill Snyder, Kansas State. All he has to do is beat up an East Cupcake, West Cupcake,
and the Coast Guard. You think they still would have put him in?
Last year, absolutely. They donked off their.
Here you go, VR. If you start the season, you're ranked in the top 10, regardless of who you play, you are not going to go down because you're not going to lose. So the team ahead of you is going to get knocked out, going to lose. You move up to number 9, and that's how those teams do it.
Kansas State was there last year. They lost to Baylor. Remember at the end of the game, they were going. Kelly in Vegas had her ticket
ready to go. National championship game. I remember.
And they scheduled cupcakes.
I know, but what I'm but that's the thing is.
Don't raise.
No, but still, all the talk was, are they going to get the invite?
No, that's true.
Because Alabama.
If other people, but the Oregons and the
Oregons, where everyone was arguing, it would have went before them.
Obviously, they're number 15 in line, and they need.
That's what I mean.
13 of the 14 guys above them to drop.
Because that's what you start hearing about come November. Schedule, strength of schedule. What was where are their wins? Where are their wins?
If
you want to play in a national championship game.
If they lose, then the next thing you want is the good strength of schedule. But if you're highly ranked and you don't lose, you don't got to worry about it.
Look, VR is right, and Brian, you're right. There's 2 ways to go about it. You're going to punch your ticket to the dance with a tough schedule, great reputation, and one loss, and hope everyone else above you,
or go perfect,
or you fly perfect, but you cannot fly perfect if you're Louisville. Sorry, Teddy Bridgewater, you got a great name, Bridge Over Troubled Waters.
That's what I mean.
Go play TCU or Boise in some bowl game.
The teams in the Big 12 are better than the teams.
Right, but still, that's what I mean. You're not guaranteed a ticket to the BCS championship game if you're not in the SEC and you run the table. In the SEC, you could lose a game.
You got a duck on your helmet.
In the SEC, you could still lose a game and play in the national championship.
Do you have any concerns about them only bringing back 11 starters? The last 7 years, they're bringing back 13 or more.
I'm glad.
I know they load.
That's why you're not playing over 10.
That's why you're getting 8. Listen,
over 8.5.
Stoops has won 80% of the games he's coached. 80%. Okay, of the games he's coached, he's won. If you look at this team, offensively, they're as loaded as anyone in football. They lost Landry Jones, and what do they bring in? Blake Bell, the Belldozer.
The Belldozer.
Exactly. So they got a quarterback ready to step in. But more importantly,
he can't throw a lick.
He doesn't have to, because he's got 3 senior running backs back there. He's got wide receivers that are some of the best in the Big 12. He's got an offensive line that was decimated with injuries, but has 114 starts between them, and defenses where they lost everyone. And that's a positive, because for back-to-back consecutive years, they were the worst defense statistically in Oklahoma history.
You're ready to
So why would you ever want that defense to return?
We're going to make this like an hour video. Let's make this one official.
Do it.
This is the first of 3 free plays.
Oklahoma over 8.5 wins. You're going to have to pay some vig to get it. Minus 150. When I'm done betting it, you're going to have to lay more than 150. I bet it last night. I'm going to bet it again today, and I'm probably going to bet it again tomorrow. This is a 10-win team year in and year out. There's absolutely no reason they're not going to win 10 games again. Steve mentioned a tough schedule, but I think that's what you want going in. And when you look at Stoops, his brother returns for the 2nd year on the defensive side of the ball. I think they're going to be much improved. They needed to get new defense in. Again, statistically, the worst defense back-to-back years they've ever had at Oklahoma. So I'm not concerned about them losing 7 3-year starters on the defensive side of the ball. Good riddance. On offense, they're loaded. Oklahoma over 8.5 wins. Also, that Bartolou kid, the college football matrix kid, who really does well with college football, he endorsed the play, so it made me feel even better. This team was 8-1 in comp.
Sprinkle some plus 140. Some plus 140.
Over 9.
And plus 3 against the Irish.
I like it.
On the 28th.
I like it.
Because you're going to need to win that game.
They went 5-0 on the road last year.
I think you will win.
What do you think Oklahoma State? They can't win on the road,
I'm glad you asked me about Oklahoma State.
That's what I want to hear.
I'm going to get to Oklahoma State because Oklahoma State's going to win this conference, all right?
But they can't win on the road.
Well, that's the thing. On the Big Six, only one of the Big Six here, we're talking the TCUs, I think I threw in Kansas State, and obviously Texas. They're the one that's got 5 true home games. Huge, because they have a massive home field advantage.
Yeah.
Follow the money. T. Boone Pickens, billionaire, keeps pumping in money and resources. So they are getting the recruits, and people forget. They had that 5 home games back in 2011. Remember Kansas State, Kelly in Vegas, still upset about it. I'd be upset too. Wow, Kelly, good news, because there's a bunch of people in Oklahoma State that are sobbing in their pillows also because they had that rainy, windy night in Ames, Iowa, where they were 10-0 and they were ready to punch their ticket to the national championship. They were going to go to the title game just 2 years ago, and it all fell apart as a 26.5-point favorite. They lost in overtime, and then last year, turnover bug. Go to Arizona, the arid desert, and just turn the ball over like crazy. Then they played the aforementioned Kansas State, 5-0 on turnovers. They lose 44-30. Their other 3 losses, quality teams, all by less than a touchdown. This is a premium program that we're taking advantage of that 8-5. If they had gone 9-3 like they should have last year, this season win number would have been even higher. Now it's at 9, not over 80 or 9.5, but I think at plus 270, I really.
But are you concerned they don't have a quarterback? That the only reason this kid.
They got 2 quarterbacks.
The only reason
with
this
experience.
Yeah, but the only reason this kid was going to leave, wasn't he, that Clint Kelf kid? The only reason he's there is because 2 kids got hurt. I mean, even in May, they hadn't said who's going to start.
They both have had starting experience. It's the system. It is the system.
But even now with the new offensive coordinator, a Division III offensive coordinator,
Shippenberg, and they kicked, but ship it in. Believe me.
You think he's ready for Big 12?
How do you? Don't you think that the fact that they're willing to hire a guy from Shippenberg speaks wonders about how good this guy actually is and what and
because in the Big 12 offense wins, right? It's not.
I just know one of you is full of Shippenberg right now.
And doesn't offense wins in the Big 12?
Well, it does for Oklahoma State.
And a Division III coach?
Hey, if I look at, let's go back to the actual data. Yards per play for and against. Oklahoma State was the best team in this conference last year.
Oklahoma State's a major passing team. They pass more than anybody else in the conference.
Exactly.
I mean, Kansas State cannot. Last year, Kansas State couldn't compete with that because.
But I mean, they're like plus 1.2, whereas these other teams like Texas are like plus 0.2. I mean, it is.
Texas is another team that runs the ball.
I understand. So they can clean up the turnovers. Not get sloppy.
Play better defense.
It's going to help that they get 5 games at home. I don't think anyone plays defense enough in this conference.
I did want to point out their only tough game. I've got them with 3 tough games at home against TCU and Oklahoma, and then on the road against Texas. But I've got basically Texas, Oklahoma State, all within like 3 points.
Right there. Yeah. Me too.
I love their schedule because they have 3 byes, and they did, unlike this silly Oklahoma, got to beat Notre Dame. I mean, they put their byes at the right. They play their UTSAs and their Lamars. Then they get a bye before they go and play at West Virginia. So, like, their 3 byes are strategically placed. And also, every one of their tough games is against a team that is not off a bye. And every one of their tough games when they go on the road, also, oftentimes the team they're playing had played on the road the week before, and one of them was traveling to West Virginia. So I'm looking at it, and I get nothing but good check marks, good spot, good spot, good spot, good spot. This is a scheduling dynamic. As long as Oklahoma State is within a point power rating of all these teams, they are going to win because of the schedule. I'm going to make this official.
Can anybody else, other than the 3 we mentioned, win this conference?
No, not a chance.
Only if TCU can suddenly
that's it. I think Baylor doesn't have.
If TCU can sign RG3, though.
I don't think they could bypass all 3 of these teams.
The defense is good enough, but the offense isn't.
Yeah.
Let me make it official. Follow the money. The schedule, the more I break this down, the more I love Oklahoma State to win this Big 12. And I think VR has brought up some good points. You can make some great cases for why Oklahoma or Texas is going to be every bit as good as Oklahoma State, but their schedule is not as good. This is the team that their schedule is built to win. 2011, they had that schedule. They rolled. Iowa State got their miracle. Otherwise, this team would be in the national title game. dark horse. Not only going to win this conference, Oklahoma State is going to be in the national title game. Write it down. It is a free play. That's 3 out of 4 if we count the Notre Dame play. These guys are laughing.
Sprinkling.
Sprinkle. We had
national championship.
Remember, we got
Oklahoma
the SEC
State
already
Cowboys.
to win it all. So we'll go ahead and
be
stay
number
with that.
8 for the SEC.
We're only talking about the high end. Can I go ahead and talk about what I think might be the strongest play of them all on the low end of this conference? Iowa State, Paul Rhodes. Every year,
you're breaking Kelly from Vegas's heart.
I'm not Kansas State, Iowa State.
Kansas State's going to. Sorry, I mean Kelly. They're going to win 7 games maybe.
I sure hope she watches this video. You mentioned her name.
She said, she said 8 wins. So
I don't know. There's some people love Kelly. Other people, like John Macker. I think she's great.
She's great.
And she has great information. I think some people are just like a little jealous that they don't have as good information as she has on a lot of stuff.
Agree.
But let me get back to the task at hand. Iowa State. This team we talk about UNLV keeps winning 2 games, but they should win 4 every year. This is a team that keeps winning 6 games, but they should win 4. They're terrible. Their stats are awful. They keep having miraculous wins. They win at Nebraska as a 20-point dog. Then they win at home against Oklahoma State as a 26.5-point dog. It will not continue.
The national champion.
This team is way down this year. No, they're not going. Iowa State's not going to the national championship game. They're not. Bob Donahue once picked Northwestern to go to the national championship game, and I got up and I said, I'm sorry, Bob, but they're not going to go to the national championship game. They're not going to win the Big Ten. They're not even going to go to a bowl.
They're not going bowling.
And that's the case of Iowa State. I know, but they're not even going to win 5 games. They're not going to win 4 games. This is a 3-9 team. Go under 5.5. Lay $1.70, I think it is. You can play under 5 and take plus money.
I like that.
I'm going to go ahead and make this one best bet, unless
let me
you have a differing opinion.
I don't have a differing opinion. I think this is your best bet on this group of everything we've been talking about. I only make this number 3.96.
3.96.
And my question is,
not 4.
How the hell did you find Iowa State under 5.5 minus 170? In Las Vegas, I don't know of any place in Vegas.
5 Dimes says under 5.5 late, $1.50.
Is 5 Dimes now located in Las Vegas? Because I walked into the 5.
No, he said
5 and Dime.
I got it. I got
5 and Dime here in Las Vegas. And I couldn't find it.
At that 5.
I got 5.
My point is, goddamn it, I like this game too, and I couldn't bet it here in Las Vegas.
I got it. He sent it to me.
But you take a look. He's on the preferred list.
Both on the preferred.
But
how come he always says he can get down, and you always say I can't?
That number is not. There is nobody in Vegas right now who's taking over-unders on Iowa State. Correct?
You got to go and places far away.
Walk over to the app and ask him to put it up.
They'll put it up. They'll put it up.
The winner put it up for you. You lose every bet.
Yeah, they see my picture and welcome this guy.
They'll be like, we'll give you 6.
Nugget will ask you.
Other 6 even more.
To talk about the game, though, the Cyclones are only going to be favored by over a field goal once all season when they host Kansas.
Yeah, that's easy.
They've only got 9 returning starters coming back from a team that was outgained in league play last year by 147 yards a game. Now, you talked about you like the situation with Oklahoma bringing guys back.
Or not bringing guys back. They were awful.
Well, unfortunately, Iowa State doesn't recruit like Oklahoma does, so they're not going to have that same ability here. But I really like this under, and may have to have you put something up for me.
Endorse
I can't find it here.
Oh, help! Daddy, do my homework
Steve.
for me.
A minus 180.
Let me go ahead and make this official. I'm not supposed to do this because I did give this out as a premium play, and I'm not supposed to give out a free play that was also a premium play. I see VR do it. I'm breaking the rules. Iowa State is not going to win 6 games this year. This is one more free play, but this is the best of them all. And the reason that this number is still there is because people pay attention to the top of the conference. They're not paying attention to Charlie Weiss and what he's eating at the buffet. They're not paying attention to Paul Rhodes. They're saying, oh, he always finds a way to do it. And the miracles are over. Iowa State Cyclones, I'm sorry. 4-8, too bad for you. No ball game. Scrooge has spoken. Free play.
Oklahoma State Cowboys will be playing.
And Iowa State won't.
Championship.
Very good. Stay with us. Pregame.tv. We're going to continue to break down. Let's go to NFL. Let's talk
NFL.
Are you ready to talk about your?
I'm giving my biggest bet in season win totals.
I'm not going to give anything away.
Premium.
We're going to go ahead and go to Mardi Gras. We'll be back in 2 minutes, 2 seconds. Pregame.tv.
Mardi Gras.